It's the anniversary of the hottest day ever recorded in Phoenix history. It was this date we hit 122. But Pete, how close have we come since then?
Well, last week, April, if you remember, we hit 117. So if I'm doing that math correctly, we got within 5 degrees of that 122. I'm actually glad we didn't get to that record. Here are the top 3 hottest days in Phoenix history. Of course, we've been talking all morning about this 122 on June 26, 1990, exactly 35 years ago. Second place, 121, 1995 on July 28th. And then in third place, also June 1990, June 25th, a high temperature of 120. So you can actually see we had 2 days in a row of 120 or higher in June of 1990. Probably not too pleasant there. All right, so let's talk about a tie here with temperatures getting up to 119. So when we look at the 119 tie here, it's kind of interesting. We have 3 dates that came from 2023, 2 years ago, and then one in June of 2017 and another one in June of 2013. So these are all tied there in 4th place at 119. And then how about a big old tie at 5th place? We have 20 different days tied at 118. The most recent of those days, July 8th of last year, 2024. So kind of interesting to look at these numbers. And I think now we're going to talk more about this. Now, one thing we should actually put to perspective as we take this full screen is that we'll actually see 29th place for that 117 that we hit last week. The reason it's 29th place, I actually had to stare at like spreadsheets for a while.
We're 29th place.
29th.
That's right, yeah. We have 28 days ahead of that 117 that we hit last week. So,
Okay.
Yeah, kind of interesting to see these numbers. Also, I mean, I've only lived here a year. It's funny how you get used to the fact of, you know, that when we hit below 110, I'm kind of excited.
I know, right? It's all perspective.
Yeah, in other parts of the country, you know, I used to complain about 100.
Yeah.
Not as much here.
Well, it's funny. Last week we were talking about that 117 and saying, you know, could that be our hottest day this summer? And it really could be because, you know, last summer we only got to 118 once.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we hope that's our hottest day, especially the next couple of weeks, looking a little cooler and wet. And so it gets harder to get to those high numbers once you get into August and September. I mean, most of those numbers you showed were June and July.
There was that one end of July, though, so it could happen. But yeah, bring in the monsoon.
Was not a great year for weather around here.
No, it wasn't.
For
But
summer,
later in the summer,
monsoon.
when we start dragging the humidity into it,
Yeah.
it's just as miserable.
It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, we're
right,
glad you
Pete.
stayed a year, Pete.
Yeah, you know what? Last
made
year's
it.
hottest summer on record did not drive me away, so I'm still here.
All right. We'll see if
We're
you make